Hello, dear friends, and welcome once again to another Divine Laws program where you and I study the very laws that shall govern our lives, not only for now, but throughout immortality. So it is with much gratitude in our hearts for the mentors who prepared these moments for us with much loving care, that we now prepare ourselves to focus our attention on question 85 of the Spirit's book by Kardec. Shall we? In this question, Kardec asks, which of the two, the spirit world or the corporeal one, is the principal one in the order of things? The mentor spirits answer to Kardec and to all of us in the following manner. The spirit world, it is pre-existent to and will survive everything else. So, based upon this very illuminating answer, beloved friends, we have come to know that the purpose of our physical existences, of our reincarnation, is to prepare us to return to the spiritual realm, our true home, stronger spiritually than when we first arrived at the beginning of this very reincarnation. So, the question for us is, have we shifted the paradigm through which we interpret our lives from one based on material gains and material milestones to spiritual ones? What would that mean? That would mean that although, of course, we have a home and we hold a job and we are part of the world, the goals of the world are not our primary ones. We know that every one of the material assets that are given to us have a higher purpose. They are the means through which we acquire spiritual assets. Which might be these spiritual assets? For instance, within the nuclei of our family, the spiritual treasure that God may have planned for us to acquire in this existence is the treasure of understanding. So, God placed us in a particular family not so that we just focus our attention on providing for each other materially, but so that we also grow spiritually. So, thinking of our family, let us meditate upon which spiritual treasure or value may God be inviting us to acquire. Is it that of understanding, of not being reactive, of not needing to be right at all times? Could be. How about the nuclei of our work environment? Have we been placed there just because of a paycheck? Now we know that this is far from being the case. We know that though our jobs are important, they are not the end of our goal of our lives, but they are the means for us to acquire spiritual virtues or treasures or assets. So let us ask ourselves, what spiritual asset or treasure may God plan for us to acquire in this particular setting? Could it be learning to give more than to receive? Could it be learning to cooperate, to collaborate, to teamwork rather than to compete? Let us meditate upon the spiritual purpose and the spiritual milestone that God wishes for us to acquire in with regards to each of our reincarnatory resources. One being the immediate family, the second being our work environment, the third being our community, the city, the country in which we were born or in which we live. Where are we there? Excuse us, why are we there from a spiritual perspective? What spiritual asset is God inviting us to acquire? In the words of Master Jesus, our guide and model, do we have eyes to see life from this perspective, or ears to hear the call from God for us to grow spiritually? Let us, within the 24 hours that are coming our way, ask our guardian angels to illuminate us, to remind us during sleep of our reincarnatory plan, so that we, one, learn to recognize and value our reincarnatory resources, and two, we learn the spiritual purpose for which God has granted us those resources. Let us then focus on growing spiritually, knowing that no one crosses our pathway by chance. We encounter one another in order to be of service to one another, in order to learn to love one another, in order to give more than to receive, in so as to grow spiritually. We are being invited to learn to give more than to receive. How do we know? Because Master Jesus has always done so, and he is our guide and model. So let us then, dear friends, meditate upon the spiritual milestones that we have reincarnated to acquire, so that we prepare to return to the spiritual realm much stronger spiritually than when we first arrived for this blessed reincarnation. Thank God you and I have Spiritism, and through Spiritism, we can utilize our reason and faith to evolve much faster. So let us then really be thankful to God for this blessing that shall transform our lives, spiritually speaking, forever. Thank you, beloved friends. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, everyone, for our togetherness in the good. And we already look forward to seeing everyone next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to Kardec Radio. where we are always nourishing our souls.